Welcome to the Craze in 10 or less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under. And if I don't, I've been busy. Anyway, do or does or do celebrity comic books make it easier or harder for the little guy? That's the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. All right. The reason why I brought up this topic is because I just noticed I was skimming through the internet and I saw that Dana Cook is in talks with Valiant to do some comic books, and so the thought of it came to my mind, right? With celebrities entering the comic field, and they've been doing it now and then throughout the years. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Does it make it harder for the independent? Does it make it harder for the little guy? For guys like us and gals, right? Does comics need that boost in order to stay relevant? So, over the past few years, we've noticed that comic book companies, the big boys, have used shock factor, have done things in line with the woke population, and trying to stay in line with what's happening in society and on social media. That's necessarily good or bad. Sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it's a bad decision. Especially when you have a DNA, when you have a character that for decades has been known as one thing, and you decide because you want to try to appease an audience that's not necessarily comic book buyers, right? Why are you trying to appease an arena of people that are not going to pick up your books anyway? But some executive in the room decided to make that decision, and whatever. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, the idea is, with all these celebrities in there, whether they're rappers, whether they're movie stars, movie producers, everybody has a niche, right? Somewhere along the line, we've all wanted to create a comic book when we were kids. So sometimes when you get status, you're like, you know what? I want to scratch that itch. I am now an important person. I have accolades and I have all these things. So I have name recognition. So I want to enter this arena. But we've seen that what that's done for the little guy. And let's just go back a little bit, because you're probably saying, yeah, Sam, it does help. Well, hold that thought, Timmy. Because remember Comic Cons. Comic Con, we're going back to the original San Diego Comic Con. It was about the creator. It was about the artist, the writer, the creator. And then over the years, it commercialized. And then Hollywood took over. The prices went up for the little guy. They made it harder for the little guy to get in there, because they really didn't want you anymore. They wanted the big names, because that's going to sell tickets. Because we don't sell tickets. We're space fillers. There's a space allocated in the building where they need to make sure that they get dollars per square foot. And that's where we come in. We're the square foot. Right? So what happens? It became pop culture shows and phased out the little guy. Unless you have a portfolio where you've worked for mainstream companies, or you've done covers, or you've done storylines. But we've seen what that did to the small guys. So what happens is, now the little guys are trying to localize, right? They're trying to do more smaller Comic Cons to build their name, to build up to get to the big show, right? I guess you need the big show as something to work towards. I don't know about that, but anyway. So we've seen that happen in the comic book convention arena, and then more and more, celebrities are getting their hands involved, because what happens is comic book projects, they was it Catapult. It's like the platform towards multimedia and film, right? So I want to do a comic book because I have Edgar and, Pennyworth. I have all these executives. I have their ear. I have a seat at the table. So I'm going to use the comic book as a means to secure some sort of deal, whether it's for a series or a film. But then again, what happens to the little guy? So we talk about saturation of the market, right? Right now, there are more independents than there ever was, right? And everybody's trying their hand at comics. And thanks to crowdfunding, it makes it a lot easier for people. And thanks to technology, it makes it a lot easier to create comics. And thanks to the communities, you can network and get an artist and writer and editor or whatever it is. So it makes it a lot more accessible, right? To be able to, and convenient to be able to create your own comic book. But then it goes back to the celebrity status. I don't know. This is one man's opinion. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't seen a benefit towards the small guy. I just know it's gotten really hard for independents, true independents, right? It's gotten really harder at the retail sector. And it's gotten really hard at the convention center. Unless the prices have gone up substantially, you want to pay $600. I mean, I think now the starting price point is like $350, and then up for a convention that brings in 10,000 people or more. But there are some conventions that bring in even less than that, and they're still charging that same price, which is crazy. So where do we fit into the scheme of things? I don't know. I don't know if there's a benefit to it. I don't know if it brings more eyes but it brings more eyes to those projects, not necessarily to the game. Right? I was having a conversation with George about this, right? We're talking about how, people who are doing crowdfunding, they believe they need to have known artists to do covers and pinups in order to sell that Kickstarter. I don't agree with that. That's just me, my personal opinion. You do you. Don't come at me. You do you. I'm trying to build my name. I'm trying to build my brand. If I'm going to bring in Harry Housen because he has 50,000 followers to do a cover, I'm going to pay him 1,000 or more to do a cover or pinup, whatever it is. The people are going to come just for his cover. They're not coming back for my book. They're not going to come back I have to do it again. The next Kickstarter campaign, I have to do it again. And that's not what I'm about. So I want readers of my books. I'm not trying to sell somebody else's. I want to get to Harry Housen's status with the community and build that following. It's not going to happen if I'm always shelling out money and there's no guarantee that it's going to drive traffic to my Kickstarter. That's one man's opinion. Don't come at me. Back up, son. You know how we do. So, again, I'm trying to build my name as an artist, which is why I started the art channel, which is why I'm promoting what I'm doing. It's that's just me. So, do I need a celebrity to promote my book? It would be nice, but that means there's a standard that I set and I have to continue, and I'm not willing to do that. Right? So, again, what's your thought? How do you feel about this subject? Do you think that the celebrities add some benefit to the independent game, or just that project that they're working on, and it's a benefit to them and the company that they've partnered with? I don't know. You tell me. Put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. You want us to dig even further on Catch the Craze podcast, George Medina, myself, on a Get Your Med segment. Let us know. We'll do it. Because the Morning Brew is still on hiatus, But that was that topic. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported my Kickstarter. To those of you who didn't come back for issue 4 but picked up the first 3 issues, I miss you. I wish you came back. I'm sorry that you didn't feel like you wanted to come back. Hope to see you again in April. But everybody, thank you so much. And remember, if you're watching this and you back the campaign, remember to check your credit cards, because I can't start sending out rewards until I see that everybody's finances were collected. So, with that said, I appreciate you. Save the date, April 4th. Graphic novel, Designated on My Toilet, volume number 1. The first 5 issues, about 140-page graphic novel, is going to be fun. With that said, this is The Crazy 10 or Less. I'm Sam, the Crazy Man Vera. You guys have a blessed day. Subscribe, like, share. Peace. Peace.